everybody? It is Mary.
And
And we invite you guys to like,
share,
subscribe,
and comment
down below. Because today it is on and popping because we are going to be reviewing Put a Ring on This Finger and Get to Step In. Get to Step In. But yeah, I know you guys are like, girl, you did not review last week. Well, guess what, girl? We reviewing it today. We do a 2-in-1 episode. Hello. So we back. But, last episode, they basically, everybody had the choice of either going on a second date with somebody they have already went on a date with, or they are currently going on a date with.
Yes.
Alfonso decided to go on a date with that girl.
Yes.
With the sushi. Kenneth went out with Shorty's co-worker. Shorty went out with Tavy. Otis went out with the first girl he dated. Charlene went out with that guy, Chris, with the blonde hair. And Shay went out with that guy that she embarrassed herself with. So it was all very interesting.
Well, she had gone into a fight with the girl Alfonso was with a date with, so they never really had a date.
Which I do think...
The date was never really completed at the Hibachi Japan restaurant.
Those poor Chinese people that were looking around.
Japanese.
Anyway, very embarrassing. But I'm glad she rectified that situation because that was embarrassing.
She came back and told him she was sorry.
And he was nice.
He was.
But he ain't never going to forget that if y'all ever do decide to date.
But she did tell the doctor when after the date that she wants to focus on her relationship.
Yeah.
Whereas Alfonso, you see, him and that girl, they were flirting, and he said to her something very interesting.
I will let you know.
She said, am I going to get another date?
A third date.
And he said, I will let you know. And I feel like he has her number or something.
Absolutely. I'll let you know there's a third date.
Even though when he came to the doctor, he was trying to tell her,
I resist the temptation.
Yes.
I'm like, why do you keep on talking? And then my thing is just like, why do you keep on talking about this temptation? Because so you're letting her know that you were tempted to do something?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear that. I don't.
I think that man is going to reach out for that lady again.
He has somebody in his back pocket just in case you decide to leave him, Shay.
He already has his baby mama.
Yeah, she stayed in the back pocket.
He already has the baby mama. So right now he's dealing with 2 girlfriends. He already has a baby mama. And he is looking for another. And this is a man, anytime he leaves town to go out for work, he cheats on her. And
you know what I'm thinking? Girl, if you don't be careful, he will probably let you become a baby mama too. So that, because when a man knows that you're leaving, his next immediate step of action is to get you pregnant.
Yes.
And if he can get you pregnant twice, and maybe a third, then he got you hooked. Because every time a man gets a woman with a baby mama, it's like you guys have this connection, which of course you do because you have kids. Yeah. But as a woman, you're more connected because... when you open yourself up to sex and then you have this man's child, you just feel special.
You're just connected. You're connected for life.
But the man can, that's why a lot of fathers leave, because they don't feel that connection. They don't birth the child, they give their sperm. But they just feel like they can just up and leave. Yeah. So that's why it does not serve women to be out here having sex and having no man's babies without any commitments. Yeah. And I know that some people be like, I need to know if he's a good man for me where I can marry him, so I got to have a baby by him first. That's the stupidest stuff I ever heard. Because the thing is, you can't get rid of a child.
Marry you. And so this is a way I think of women trying to change the narrative. Like, really, it is my choice.
It's not.
I am actually trying to vet him and not the other way around. Because you know that these men out here that you are having, like being intimate with and having babies by, they're like just having babies. They're not really being fathers
Nick Cannon.
And being there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, there are a lot of Nick Cannons out there.
Several. And then, on top of
although he said that he's trying to get married now and change his ways.
Yeah, but you know what they do? If you get married to somebody who has kids and he's paying child support, they can come for your money too. They can come for your money. If you get married to a man that has several different baby mamas, she can now say he has more money now because he's married. So they can come for you.
I think we heard that on one of these shows. Oh, it was on Family and Fiance. Yeah. The guy had 3 children and was with this lady, and she had money also. And her mom or someone was telling her that his mother was saying, how do you feel about paying child support with him? because they're also going to come for your money.
That's hard to match.
And she ended up not staying with him.
And you know what?
I know that was like, she's like, I don't think so.
You know, because one, you don't know what the situation with the baby mama is, especially if the baby is less than a year or is about. If any man that gets with you, and he has a 1-year-old to a 3-year-old, just keep on stepping because it's too early. The baby is 3 years old. Yeah. There's no way that woman has gotten over that relationship that quickly. You know what I'm saying? So,
I wonder how old Alfonso's babies are. I'm just wondering.
I don't know, but we'll Google him later.
How old those babies are. Anywho,
y'all let us know in the comment section how many children he have and how old them kids is.
Yeah, and then also let us know if that is true. That if you have to pay child support with a man that you're with.
I would never be with a man that even has one child by another. Yeah, Shay. And on top of that, we saw this episode. This fool has not called his baby mama all season.
That's what I'm like.
Why are we applauding this fake ass Rick Ross for bare minimum energy?
Well, Shay is applauding him. She's all there with him like this. Like Shay. And then he takes her out to dinner, gives her some flowers wrapped up in some jean and carpet looking thing.
I thought it was plastic.
I don't know. She's all excited.
I would have cried. She's like, already, are you gonna miss
shaking her, behind. And he's like, come on, let's go make a baby. What?
No, hold on, wait. Though.
I don't understand. Like, this man has not called the lady he was supposed to call. The assignment the doctor gave him to call his baby mama and tell her it's over. I am with Shay now. And telling his mother, I want to introduce you to the woman of my life. He hasn't done any of that. But yet you are so excited.
But we're trying to merge the families. What the hell are y'all doing? And Shay, when you left the first time, your ass should have been gone. You should have never came back.
This man has this is what he has done all the time.
As he sits there in his Versace shirts with his breast out and his gold chain.
Yeah, he tells her he loves her. I love you. She says,
and I'm gonna miss you if I'm gone. He said, I'm gonna miss you, baby. And but at first he didn't want to say that though.
And then she says, you're not gonna miss me. I didn't say all that. I'm just like you're right. He gives her the bare minimum. He does all this stuff, gets her all riled up. This is like a pattern with them. He gets her all riled up. She's all upset. She makes all these threats. He makes all these promises. Then he does something very minute for her.
I'll talk
like take her out to dinner. Tells her he loves her. And then everything is forgotten. And then she says, let's go make a baby.
Well, she says, Brown, you should make those calls first. He said, oh, well, come on, as he slaps her butt on the way out.
And she loves. I'm just.
Oh, Shay.
I don't even know what to say.
Girl.
Like, honey, you get what you get. That's all I can say. Because
the thing is,
I don't understand.
At the end of the day, ladies, y'all have to realize that a man is only going to do what you allow him to do. A man doesn't just get up and start treating you bad off a whim. If you allow him to, he will. And men put out feelers all the time to see how much they can get away with. And if you continue to look over stuff and you don't check that shit, you are going to be disrespected. It's not even checking, but it's just like set the boundary. Yes.
This is it. Let it be it.
And let it go.
And don't give those chances. Don't give those chances, because when you give the chances, what he understands
you end up 4 years in a relationship with no progress, and you are the second woman in this man's life. That's what you get when you don't set up boundaries and you don't respect yourself.
So we'll see. I mean, anyway,
I already think Shay should leave him. She should move on. She needs to get some damn healing, because the fact that you hopped up and fought a woman, you just know that's just the new healing.
She's not ready to leave Alfonso. I don't care. Even if Alfonso doesn't call that lady for another 2 years, I don't think Shay is going anywhere.
Even if Alfonso cheats on her again, she will still be there.
She will find another way, find another show to go to. It's just...
She might be back on this show all over again.
It is what it is.
We just finished watching the tonight's episode, y'all. We gonna leave and Jordan
oh my god.
We gonna leave them two for last. Yeah. Well, we're gonna wrap with Charlene and Otis because let's keep the most interesting couple for last. Charlene and Otis. Oh, you know, they both went on second dates. Otis enjoyed his date. That was cool.
Told her, you know, that he's gonna stay with Charlene. Charlene did the same thing with her date.
This was last episode.
Yeah, Charlene did the same thing with her date and said that she's gonna stay. Right?
Remember, they had their two. They all went on a second date with the people that we've been on before. Yeah. This episode, they both decided that they're going to go on a third date instead of focusing on their relationship for this last week. So that's what they did.
Yes.
Charlene basically, they both of them closed both of those dates and everything.
Yeah.
So.
But I liked what she said to them. The guy was like watching her as she was talking and saying, you know, she seemed really unsure. I mean, I have had 3 years with him, and I do, you know, have to see where it goes. As though she was asking him permission, and the guy even said
in the confessional, he said that, you know, my thing is, I don't think she's ready for marriage, because if she was, she wouldn't have gone on the third date.
On the third date, and Otis said the same thing too, because he was like, "What do you need a closeout date for? A closure date for?" You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he just did it as a spite to her. Like, they are both quite petty. It's like a tit for tat. Nobody's trying to really evolve in that relationship. And, you know, he had made a comment, Otis, that when she had the first date with this guy, she told the guy how Otis had threesomes with his ex-girlfriend.
Yes. No, Chris, the guy with the blonde hair, told her that about himself, not Otis.
What?
Yeah.
Oh. So I see why Otis was saying that he was being disrespectful.
Yeah.
Because I guess he's trying to put feelers out there. I don't trust that guy that she was having dates with.
Of course not. I don't think she should be with him either.
Like, from the day one that she went out on a date with him, you could just tell this man is a player. Even she said it.
Yeah,
so don't
any man that dyes his hair blonde isn't serious in life. And just know that. If that ain't his natural hair color, yeah,
you're black with blonde hair.
I never understood that.
Odd.
It's actually very odd
when the man does it. I feel.
I also think it's weird when women do it too. Because I mean, that's not your natural hair color. It's not.
It doesn't look great on our complexion.
It doesn't.
On any other complexions, I feel like I'm trying.
If that's not how God brought you out the womb. I mean, I guess some women experiment, but I never liked the blonde women
doing it. I guess because I'm just feel like women are always going to try to be colorful. It's always odd to me when men try to be extra colorful. It's just odd. Anyway, that's my preference.
Whole hair as a grown man, probably in his 30s. I mean, if you do it in your 20s, then
late 30s, right?
Yeah, if you're doing that stuff 30 and above, seek help.
Yeah.
But I also want to make a point that I feel like men are very observant. I feel like a man can read you. Like within the first 10-20 minutes of you even sitting down talking to him. I think they're very logical.
Why would he come up with a conversation like that? I had threesomes with my ex-girlfriend. You see, men like that, you just gotta leave them because they're not even men. They're still so effing immature. Anyway, okay, well, so let's move on from that.
I was moved on.
I know. I'm the one who stayed. I thought it was the other way. I thought it was Otis who was telling her this, and I was anywho. Excuse me.
But yeah, so that was Otis and Charlene. I don't know.
So they went on their respective dates.
They went on their respective dates. They broke it off. He was like, you know, if things ever don't work out or whatever, you can contact me. Here's my Instagram.
Via Instagram.
Yeah.
That man is serious.
He ain't serious. He need to move on, Charlene, from him, and you need to get healing. Yeah. Everybody on the show needs, like, actual healing, as far as I'm concerned. But I do want to go ahead and talk about Kenneth and Shorty.
Oh, well, we were going to leave them for last. Let's finish
They are last. We already
talked about Alfonso.
We already talked about that.
No, Alfonso actually surprised me. Because we saw him now call his baby mama. We didn't talk about that.
Yeah.
He called his baby mama. That was the next thing that we saw. And he did tell her that he apologized for kind of keeping her on a string all these years and not really breaking off with her the way he should have. And he did say he has somebody that he wanted to introduce their son Dexter to, and she was like,
"That's disrespectful.
You have to introduce me first." And she did, tell him, you have been a good father these years. I've been a good mom, and I will do what it takes to make this thing work. She seems like a decent woman.
I felt like he was just using the child to make his agenda work.
Yeah, and
you can always do that when it's a mother.
Yeah, and he said that he's going to talk to her, the mother, and with Shay. So I'm happy he did make the call, because I thought that he was just going to string her along, but he didn't. So I'm happy about that.
I'm not going to applaud this grown fake Rick Ross for finally calling his baby mama after being with Shay for 4 years. You should have been did this. So do you get a cookie? No. Hell no, you don't get no cookie as far as I'm concerned.
You get a clap that you followed through.
From her. I'm not giving you nothing. I'm just giving you a stank face because 4 years you should have been did this. You should not be playing with Shay. Do I think that they are serious? No. Do I think he takes her serious? No. He is in a pattern of disrespecting you and not taking you seriously. That's going to continue. I don't care how many fake phone calls he make. His eyes still wondering. He was still looking at that girl up and down. And it seemed like his eyes... Yeah, he kept on looking at her chest and everything. And it's like, I'll call you. With your breast all out and your gold chain. I don't trust that fool. Well, and then you even got MMG tattooed on your hand.
What's that mean?
Isn't that the name of Rick Ross's music label?
I don't know.
Yes, I believe so. I'm gonna Google it.
Okay.
So you're trying to also go on with the facade as well. But anyway, we are going to talk about Kenneth.
Okay, so
and Shorty.
Let's Kenneth and Shorty, yes.
Yes, we're going to wrap up with Kenneth and Shorty, which we going to be
here
for a while. They
both decided, unfortunately, because maybe they both should have gone on a date.
No. We have to talk about what happened last episode. Okay. Last episode, he went out with Shorty's co-worker, the first girl.
Maisha.
Yes. And he was really feeling her. He was like, I downplayed you or whatever, this, that, and the third, but I really am feeling you. You are cool and everything. I love your energy, your vibe. I love the fact that you smile at me and that, you're nice. Seems like you're just genuine.
You're happy to see me.
And then she also was like, you never know what might be around the river band and stuff like that, this, that, and the third. And he was really feeling Shorty. He was holding her hand, rubbing her hand.
He was feeling Maisha.
Yes, okay. Maisha and everything. Yeah. So I was like, okay, Kenneth, okay.
So
I felt like
at the meeting.
Well, also, let's talk about Shorty. So she basically ended the whole thing with Tavy.
Yeah.
She was just like, I'm going to try and make it work to the very last second. My thing is, I feel like Shorty is just doing it for show. She's over Kenneth. She has been all the way out the door for the longest time. She doesn't want him no more.
No.
So I feel like she decided that she just wants to at least say, hey, I worked on it. I put every last ditch effort in. That's the only reason why she's saying all that.
Yeah.
But she's not really checking for him, for real. But I know she will call Tavy when she has healed and when she feels
go
ready.
Out, Tavy.
Yeah. So that's what happened. But during the therapy session, Kenneth let it be known that he was feeling her. He got options, honey, and he ain't waiting. And, he deserves better. He a good black man. He a good man. Y'all heard him? He a good man. And he wants somebody who ain't going to be fake. Somebody who wants to smile at him. Hear me, baby. So... I'm Louisiana.
But you love how they talk, though.
I had a friend who was from Louisiana, honey. His voice was like butter. I was like, okay, talk to me some more. Yes. So yeah, that's basically what happened.
So Shorty was just like, so when they went home, I guess. So he was ready. He's like, okay.
But they both decided that hey, we are going to work on our relationship this last week.
We're not going to go on any dates.
Yes.
They should have gone on dates. And left each other alone because
the way it ended, honey. I don't know how to feel. Because I liked Kenneth. I actually really like him.
Kenneth showed his behind out.
He showed every single private part about him. But so what happened was, it was the next day or whatever, and they decided, did we talk about all the other couples?
We have talked about everybody else. Yep, it's just Kenneth and Shorty left.
I feel like we didn't talk about Charlene and Otis.
No, that was it.
What happened with them this episode?
They have that was it. They didn't talk after that. That was it.
Oh yeah. They went on their respective dates.
Kenneth and Shorty took up the rest of the
yes. So what happened was now.
So Shorty's sitting on the couch.
No, they went on a date. No, they went on a date. Where basically they just learned to cuddle and have intimacy thing.
Yes.
He is tall as hell. Shorty stands up and she's like eye level with him.
When he's on his knees.
Yeah, he is tall, so tall. Anyway, I can't even lust over Kenneth because it was too much.
It was too much.
So
he's laying on her. She is sitting up, right? And he's laying on her lap.
Yeah.
And she's rubbing his head.
Which I thought was already setting up the disrespect.
And had her hand on his tummy, I guess. And she's
rubbing
like,
his head.
you know, like, what do you need from me that you're not getting? And he's like, just for you to, I guess,
believe in
him. And then she says, well, this is what I need from you. She was telling what she needed from him. Like, I need for you to come up with a plan of how you're going to get things. And he's like, I mean, I am going to do my stuff, what I got to do.
Well, she said, what are you
going? And she said, but I need a plan of action.
He said, I'm going to pay all the bills. He said, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all that financial stuff out. I'm going to be paying all the bills. I'm going to be doing all the cooking. I'm going to be doing all everything.
Bills and all the cooking. So he gets up. He's like, yeah, I'm going to do. She said, what is the plan of action? He's like, come on now. You know me. I'm going to do this stuff.
At first, what I thought was, I felt like, Shorty, just believe in him. Just believe in him. That's what I was saying. But then
so
when she was silent.
And then he starts to talk. So she's like, tell her the plan of action.
And he went like this in a circle.
And then like, so she was like this. And then he says, just listen. Don't interrupt. So she's like, okay.
And then he's like, so what other question you want to ask me?
He said, saying the plan of
tell
action.
me what the hell the plan of action was.
You asked me about a question. I thought you told me to be quiet. I didn't say anything, but you told me to be quiet so you could tell me your plan of action.
And then he said...
And then when I'm quiet, then you say, so what are the questions you have? And I don't know if it's the editing.
I don't think it was.
This man started to look...
I can't give you the benefit after what I saw, Kenneth.
A little lost. You all tell me. He started to look lost, you know, like a little boy. And he's sitting there playing with his fingers.
But then he was like, you know what, I just need from you. So it went from you not telling me the plan of action to you asking me about another question. And then he went to, you know, I just need you to come and look at me with those beautiful brown eyes when I finish working for the man. Yes. I just need you to be there to rub my head and to just be there for me because I'm going to make stuff work.
I thought he was a man.
It was just a lot of fluff. He wasn't showing anything. He wasn't saying anything. And my thing is, I wasn't seeing what Shorty was talking about all this time until I was like, what the fuck is this? What is you saying? I was like, you saying nothing. I was like, I see why Shorty has resentment. Because it sounded so good. Even I was like, yes, honey, pay all the bills, cook and do all the cleaning.
But I was wondering, how is he cooking and paying all the bills?
I'm like, how do you do both? Somebody has to be the cook.
I mean, so this is what the frustration for Shorty. And so I think he felt, because this is something that has happened in their relationship before.
And he kept on saying, like, let's not talk about this. Like, let's move on. Like, stop asking the same question, Shorty. Could you stop asking the same question, babe?
And then he kissed her head.
And then like, she said, well, we've come to the end of our thing. And then Shorty told him the confessional.
The lady comes and says, we've come to the end. They need to hug.
And Shorty said, you know, this is really sad for me because I'm realizing that we just might not be compatible.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he knew it too. Because he was like, he was hugging her. He was like, like he was trying his best.
And she was just hugging him like.
And my petulant child.
So I think he felt this. It's not that this hasn't happened before in their relationship, but I think he realized the cameras were rolling now on his lack of plans.
But my
and he felt embarrassed. So the next day,
I think he got into this pattern with Shorty where he felt like he can just tell her all this stuff. And Shorty is at a place where she's already out the door, boo. She's gone on several different dates. She already said she found the man she wants in Hollywood, and then she met Tavy, which I thought he was quite nice. I didn't like the the vagina galore drink he was talking about the first date. I thought he was a nice guy. But I just felt like she is aware. She's aware of the game that you've been running on her. And my thing is, if you actually had a plan of action and you weren't just talking, she might have been
done
open.
It by now, though. It's been 3 years.
Well, if you had a plan of action, said, listen, I'm looking for jobs, I already have one lined up, or whatever the case was, like, if you actually had an actual plan, she might have listened to you. I don't think she would have stayed, but she would have been like, oh, okay.
The plan is to look at her big eyes when he come in and he's been beat down by the man. That was all I got. Was there another thing that he said?
My thing is, in this America, there is absolutely no reason for any grown-ass man to be broke. There are multiple ways to make money. You don't even have to have a college education. You can be on social media getting paid. There was one girl I was following on TikTok. She makes $100,000 from Pinterest every 2 months. You cannot, like, there's no excuse for anybody to be broke. Like, for real, in America.
You really
like, there are so many avenues.
There's so many.
It doesn't make sense. It's for grown men. Like, who goes, you as a grown man with your cojones and all, nice and strong, what do you bring to the table? Like, why are you coming to me as a woman asking what do I bring to the table? You sound like an illiterate. Anyway, I digress. Anyway, so they come home. And so I don't know what happened. They apparently had a fight that night.
Well, he said, after that, in the confessional, he said, you know something? I don't even care anymore. Like, I'm going to let her know. He did say that. Like, he was feeling so upset about, I think, looking bad in the camera. Like, because that was a bad look. Even for you. And we were like, Team Kenneth. But it was a little cringy when she actually, like, was asking questions.
But the thing is, what I liked about Shorty was she actually shut up for once. And she listened instead of her trying to talk over him and trying to direct. She actually, the thing is, women, if you listen to a man long enough, you will know within maybe the first day of talking to somebody if they're for you. It really doesn't take that long. No. If I talk to somebody online or whatever, I can honestly tell within the first 10 minutes, you ain't for me, boo. Blocked, next, thank you. So, I just felt like, girl, thank God you listened after 3 years. Yeah. It took you long enough.
Right. So, but anyway, at the apartment.
But what happened was, I think there was, because it seemed like they were in an argument, like, as it was happening. But in the confessional, he said that we had a serious discussion last night. It did not go as planned. Okay. After the whole cuddling session or whatever. Okay. So it started out with him drinking a beer. That's how it was introduced to the scene. And she basically was like, don't talk to me, Kenneth. Don't talk to me, Kenneth. As she was on her phone and she was walking away. You can go now. I set up the scene for you.
Oh.
Okay. Continue. So basically they sit down, whatever. He's like, so he there eating his chicken. He's like being bravado. He tossing the vodka back. He tossing the beer back. And I'm like, oh, what is going on here? This is uncomfortable. Yeah. But so he sits. So he's like, so Shawty, we need to talk. Or whatever. And so he brings his beer or whatever, stuff like that. He said, you need to eat some chicken. What he said was, you said this chicken tastes so good. It reminds me of what you don't do. So I guess he started saying how you don't cook and clean. Well, you the one who broke, so you should be cooking and clean. That's how she looked at him. So he go and sit down, and he like, so what you want to talk about? So anyway, I don't know how they
and then she started talking about, I guess, the marriage thing, right? Like, we're not there yet to get married.
No, I think Kenneth started because Kenneth was like,
because she had already said so. I think she said
it the last time.
Yeah, she had already mentioned that. So now he was saying that, you know something, marriage is the last thing on
he said, as a man, that marriage is the last thing that's on my mind. And especially with a woman like you. You weak!
I don't even know where that came from.
I was like,
he just started going in on her.
But the thing is with Shorty, what it triggered him because she was just looking at him like, yeah, I agree.
He could tell.
She kept on smiling like she was.
Tell that she did not care.
It reminded me of an incident that happened with you one time.
Okay, we're not going to go into my personal business. However, he could tell in that moment, and I know the moment you're talking about, and I don't want that laughter. But he could tell at that moment. A man can tell when he look in your eye, it's over.
Yeah,
he could tell in that moment it is over. It's happening on national television.
It was so ugly.
He got ugly.
It was crazy. Like, so
he was drinking back the stuff.
And he was yelling at her and stuff like that.
Yes.
And she's like...
Called her the B word.
He said, called her a hoe. He was cussing at her.
Like,
he laid out...
He said,
you're not even my flavor. Like, and everybody told me that I need to get... He said, you're not even my flavor. Everybody was telling me that, you need to leave her. Like, what's wrong with you? He's like, I ain't never gonna settle for somebody like you ever again. You know, I'm a good black man. I got talent. I said, this can't be the representation of black men. This cannot.
He got talent.
I was like, are you auditioning to be a rapper? Talking about you got talent?
That talent, you could have told her when she was asking about your plan of action. You could have said, these are the talents I have. This is what I'm going to use for them. Like, missed opportunity. But he just went in on her.
Off. And then the thing is, Shorty was like...
the producer even had to come and say, come on, Kenneth.
No, hold on, wait. But before that, though, Shorty was... So he was there talking to Shorty, whatever, right? He's all like this, and then he laid himself out.
No, because she said, are you going to come back and
she said, she was like, so are you going to get your stuff? Like, is this an empty conversation?
And she said, are you going to come back after you've done all this? Come back and beg me.
He's like,
or apologize. I know.
He's like, you crazy as hell or whatever. He laid, and then the thing is, what got me was the zoom out. Like, when you zoom out to see this tall-ass man leaning all on the couch, stomach out, hands sagging below his knees.
And they zoomed out, too.
And then he's like this, all in her face, and he's like coming back, and then coming
like
forward.
Leaning next to her, which I thought was a little violent. It was violent.
It was very violent.
The way he was coming to her, like, if she had, like if though I shuddered to think, too, though, what would have happened if the cameras weren't there?
You know what also happened
that day?
Yeah.
That the producers weren't there that day. I'm happy that she pulled him out because it was almost as if, and then he would blame it on the liquor. And I wondered to myself, it felt like this is something that he has done before. Even though she was trying to say, it seems as though he needed a liquid courage with the alcohol to get the balls to tell me all of this stuff. But it feels like this is something he has done before. Because she was like, now they get to see the real Kenneth. This is something this man has done before.
Well, you know, also what happened was, so Shorty was saying, she was telling him basically, like, is this an exit? Like, are we, like, this is a breakup? Like, this is an exiting, right? Or whatever. He's like, he said, this ain't no exit. Why we gotta have an exit, you know? He said, I said we ain't getting married. So I was like, so now you're backtracking? He said, I said we ain't getting married. She said, well, if we ain't getting married, there ain't no reason to be together. Exactly. And then he got upset. It looked like he was about to cry. Because then he went out to the balcony. He's like, you don't understand. And then he's like, choked it in. And then he came, did a backflip. And then he did a cartwheel. And then he did
just came in. I feel so free.
They said, I never felt so free in my life.
I just did a cartwheel.
I said,
they tried to do a handstand. I was like, this man.
You know what I said to myself? Child,
control.
I said, is he on the cocaine? Is it the drugs? Or is it liquor?
He was on some stuff.
It was crazy.
Plus the alcohol.
And he was still tossing it back. Ooh. And then Shorty said, well, you need to get all your shit and leave. And then looked like he was smoking marijuana in the back. Because I saw a brown stream because there was smoke coming out. He was like,
oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't see that. And then
he's like, I hope y'all recording this.
Yes, he started packing, started dancing. I could wear something
And then he was doing the two-step by R. Kelly. I was like,
please don't mention R. Kelly. He started dancing, so Shorty got her got the trash bag. Shorty got the trash bag.
She said, you came in with trash bags, you leaving with trash bags.
But you can have this suitcase. And she said all the money she borrowed him or whatever. I mean,
you can keep that.
She said you can keep that. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, that's a he say, she say in terms of money that she gave him. But I was happy that he was out of the home.
And then he tried to kiss her. He said, bye, baby. He said, we're going to be best friends. We're going to be the best of friends. And she said, after all this disrespect, you think we're going to be friends? And then he said, bye, little ugly. That's my thing with those Louisiana men. They sound really good, but when they get upset, they're very ugly. They're very ugly with their words.
Ugly. And yes, he is a Gemini like Trump and Kanye.
Those hurt people.
it's not my
She's
people.
a Gemini.
I'm a Gemini, but I always said I'll never date a Gemini man.
Yeah, you always do say
There
that.
are some, they are rare. A good Gemini man is rare, but they're there. And when you get the really good one, oh, you're set for life. But most of them are ugly acting. And if you cross them, that revenge is something else.
Those Louisiana men, they can be very ugly when they fight. Like you would have never thought.
Men. I have heard of Louisiana men too.
You would be so shocked. You would have never thought that they would talk to you like that or whatever. You'd be thinking that this man loved me, he into me, and that he would just cut you so deep. And I would just, they can be very ruthless. I know it. I could never date a man from Louisiana, honey.
Someone did tell me that too, and be like. Never did. She was from Louisiana. She said, never date. She's of all the men in this America, you never date a man from Louisiana.
Louisiana, New Orleans. Yeah, those two for sure.
And she told me, I was like, really? She said, do not date a man from Louisiana. Like,
But it's real smooth talkers. But honey, I could not believe he called her little ugly. He said, you weren't even my flavor. And then she was like, just last night you were on bended knee. And now you're saying little ugly? Yeah. And not your flavor?
And I'm sure that makes her feel sad too, though. Because you've been with this person for 3 years.
And then she also said, I always felt like this. I always felt like
you were like that, or this is how you thought about me.
This is how you always felt about me.
She probably felt resentment from him through the years.
Well, also because you lied to me and you didn't have a job or whatever the case may be.
She couldn't really pin it. So I think with both of them, they had both lost respect for each other. With both of them, there was a lot of resentment. This is a classic case of couples who stay in a relationship beyond the time, beyond the season, way beyond the season. And then so much resentment is built up. So I hope she does not stay friends with him.
I doubt it. Shorty was already out the door.
She got but I didn't see her get the key from him. But she needs to get a key, get her locks changed, and I will not be in a room by myself with him. I thought it was a very punk move too, just the way he acted with her.
He called her every single name. Yeah. Like it just
he was trying so hard to get a reaction from her. And he couldn't. Yeah. He couldn't because his time was up. It was on her written on her face.
He was just hurling stuff at her just to get a reaction from her.
But he was hurt. He was hurt from
because he was like, for 6 weeks you've been embarrassing me and this, that, and the third, and everything and stuff like that. But I just felt like there's just the thing is, she's been crossing lines all along.
I mean, she has, But that's where you should put up your boundaries.
Or you should have just left.
Yeah, I still don't think it's fair to just hurl all of that.
They both did it to each other. I don't think it's right. I don't think what Kenneth did was right. You a grown man, being an alcoholic, and I felt like he would have slapped her 2 times if the cameras weren't there. Because the way he just kept on going in her face, and she's like, "You're such a child." Yeah. And then of course her words can slice. So she said one wrong thing to him, he would have slapped her or something like that. Like that's just the feeling I got. It was very violent.
Yeah, it was.
And I just was like,
it was very sad,
very cringy.
It was very cringy, very sad, and we were not expecting that from him.
No.
Yeah, but in a sense, maybe I should have, because he was a Gemini. And
we didn't know that till today.
I think he had said so. Him and Maisha. I think both of them are Geminis. I think they both said that.
Well, I didn't know that till today, and then I laughed, and I was like, "Oh,
that. Yeah, I should have known. Yeah, there's a ruthlessness there.
Well, I just didn't expect that from Kenneth, at all.
We were not expecting that from you, Kenneth, at all.
I'm really disappointed.
A little disappointed, yeah.
Well,
you all tell us what you think.
Also, my thing is, you attract what you are. So I should not have been surprised that that they found each other. Because she be slicing him and he be slicing her apparently, and then he be blaming on the liquid courage.
Yeah, I hope they stay away from each other. Because that's what they both need to do. It's over. We wish you both well and move on.
I don't know if any woman gonna want to be with you, Kenneth, after everything they done seen.
Oh,
there will be some desperate women for sure. I just forgot about that.
We hope not. We hope that a woman will kind of wait until you get some kind of therapy. All the hurt you've been through, and the same thing with Shorty too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just felt like it was really, really sad. I was just very baffled that everything that happened.
Yeah, but you guys tell us what you think.
Do you think he was out of line, or do you think it was well deserved?
I mean, I think it's like you said.
I thought it was out of line.
But I think he was a little too much. I wouldn't really expect all of that.
Little ugly, and then you try to kiss her, and then you were backtracking, trying to say that, oh, we don't have to break up, but we won't get married. You just called me a bee, a hoe. Even the producer had told you, okay, come, Kenneth, like, come on.
Yeah.
But that was after he had cursed her out thoroughly, though. Like, they waited too long.
I think when he was sitting on the chair and he had his fist like this, when he was sitting on the chair, he was turning towards her, I think the producer was
he kept on saying F you and all that.
So that's why he was like, Kenneth, come on. So.
It was a lot this episode.
Wow. Well, there we have it.
I'm sure he's going to be very embarrassed.
We will see what happens next week.
I think he probably called her the next morning, though, and probably apologized. At least did that. Because he was talking about how, the old me would have been like, I apologize, babe. And it looked like he wanted to. Because he wasn't really trying to break up with her. Like, he really wasn't. It seemed like he wanted to cry. That's why he walked onto the balcony, put his beard down.
Oh, and as he was leaving, he started dancing.
Yes, he was skipping himself out the door. And he said...
I was like... I don't know if he's auditioning.
He on some serious drugs.
Maybe that's gonna be his next gig, some acting gig. Somebody, Tyler Perry,
to be a comedian.
Tyler Perry, give him a job. Yes, that's what he needs to be. He needs to go for a comedy. You did say that before.
I did give that advice to that brother.
Lord have mercy, Shorty. Wish you the best. I'm happy that both of you are, obviously, it wasn't just one person. It was both of you, really. Yeah. You and Kenneth are to blame for the debacle that was the relationship. But
you do that's why it's so important to be in a good place. Like Courtney, who has healed. She has gotten over whatever she had to go get over. She's gotten her therapy. Yeah. It's so important to find love when you are in the best place of your life. Yeah. Like, and not when you're in denial about it, but you are genuinely in the best place of your life. Yeah. Because then you end up being with somebody for 20, 10, 15, 8, 7 years.
For a lifetime.
And you're scarred. You just waste time. Yeah. That's why it's just best to wait. Go travel. Go to the Maldives. Go shake your booty on a yacht to go live your life until the right person finds you. Yeah. But I'm traumatized.
So you guys tell us what you think.
But
thanks for joining us. And Amma.
And leave just like,
share,
subscribe,
and comment
down below about the shenanigans. Good night, all.
Bye.